Yeah, those numbers.
All right. Welcome to another reading of Lord MEHER. We're on page 27,
57, bottom of
2757. We're in the year 1949. And Rosalie, go ahead and start the reading, please.
Well, it's very interesting. I've lost my page. I mean, I have the page and it's got those blocks on it. Okay, I'll say what I could see. These are the orders. Do not touch women. Fast for 24 hours on any fixed. It's blocked.
What is this?
Yeah, this. Oh, and I guess Bubba wants me to start it from the bottom. Okay. One paragraph above. This seemed impossible for them, but they assured Baba they would do their best to see that it did not happen. Baba, however, was adamant. I want your firm promise. They could not give it. And so Baba advised, return to Hamirpur for the time being and prepare people to receive me, making them aware of the conditions for my darshan. When they are fully ready, inform me and I will come. Baba asked them to have leaflets printed in Hindi about his conditions, and they departed. This was the beginning of setting fire to Hamirpur district. An age was to witness how this spark became a blaze which engulfed the entire populace. Okay, now it's goofy. Okay. Oh, a little lower. Okay. Yeah. Similar conditions prevailed in the southern state of Andhra Pradesh, where thousands were awaiting Baba's darshan. Dr. Dhanapati Rao, who had met Baba in 1947, played a major role in, quotes, arson, end quotes, activities there. Thus, in Hamirpur and Andhra, the seed of expectation was sown. While flowering, it would create a tumultuous gathering of lovers. And I must say, Baba compared Hamirpur to his heart and Andhra to his mind. Okay. A little lower, please. It's got that block. Can you lower? Oh, good. A little lower. A little lower. A final meeting to present the new life conditions have been arranged at Meherabad for Saturday, 31st August, 1949. 32 close disciples were called, 16 of them from out of town. They were Meherji, Nariman, Jal Karawala, Papa Jesawala, Minu Karas, Bal Natu, Sadashiv Patil, Dowlat Singh, Keki Desai, Kishan Singh, Vital Bokre, Dr. Deshmukh, and Baba's brothers Jalbai, Baram, and Adi Jr. They and the Mandali were instructed to be present in the hall at 8 a.m. The hall was swept and cleaned, but no one was allowed to enter it before the fixed time. Baba had also ordered that every man should take a bath and put on clean clothes before the meeting. Special arrangements have been provided for outside visitors to bathe. And by early morning, only Rao Sahib of Seri had not yet arrived. When the train passed Meherabad, he was seen and a car was sent to the station to bring him. When Rao Sahib came, He was somewhat shocked to be so unceremoniously taken to the nearest bathhouse before any greetings were proffered, but he was present on time. Baba's order was not to permit entrance to anyone after 8 o'clock, and hence the mandali had to be extra particular that day. For instance, Baram was late arriving from Pune and had to sit outside the hall on the veranda. In addition, those gathered had been strictly ordered not to shout Jai, not to make obeisance with folded hands to Baba, not to praise him, and not to stare at his feet reverently. At exactly 8 o'clock, Baba entered the hall, followed by the mandali. He stood for a minute in the corner behind his chair and directed Padre to walk in front of him from one side of the hall to the other 7 times. Baba joked, "Suppose a cat has crossed my path. Padre's pacing will ward off any evil." Then Baba took his chair. Seeing that all were present and that there would be no disturbance or intrusion from anyone, as Padre was shutting all the doors and windows, Baba explained the purpose of the gathering. Particularly, it's blocked out now, Marvin.
Yeah, scroll up a little.
Yeah, a little bit. I can't scroll. Oh, here.
There we go.
Those blocks are so weird. Okay. Can we lower it a little bit? Okay. You know what? I think Jonathan should take over because he's getting the whole.
Not really, but
You
so,
want?
what,
Okay, then
so-
Baba. Oh, I have it. Then Baba took his chair. Seeing that all were present and that there would be no disturbance or intrusion from anyone, as Padre was shutting all the doors and windows, Baba explained the purpose of the gathering, particularly to the visitors, who were expressly reminded that they were the selected ones out of a list of 102 persons. Okay, Jonathan, you want to go ahead?
sec.
Okay, I'll continue to. The 4 Mandali priests, Kaikabad, Dan, Kak Sahib, and Kale Mama, were then asked to read certain passages from the Avesta, Bible, Quran, and Gita. Baba stated, "First of all, I want to invoke God's forgiveness for myself, for the Mandali, and for all, through all 4 Zoroastrian, Christian, Muslim, and Hindu approaches to God." At the end of the recitations, referring to the melodious reading by Kak Sahib of the Quran, Baba remarked, "If God cannot be moved by such a beautiful performance, then God must be either deaf or dead." Baba stood up, and so did the whole gathering. On Baba's behalf, the following prayer of forgiveness was read aloud. "I forgive each and every disciple, devotee, and follower all his weaknesses to date, and any disobedience on his part up until now. And on behalf of myself, I forgive myself for any pain, injustice, or wrong that I may have done any of them." Baba added, this is the last ceremony, and henceforth there will be no further ceremonies, and likewise no prayers. The meeting began. Baba directed Ramju to recount in brief all that had transpired during the past several days. Ramju outlined the plans and arrangements that were being made to wind up everything in order to start on the new life. Baba then stated, Jonathan, you want to pick it up?
I want you all who receive this circular of conditions to understand once and for all that I am 100% serious about this new life. Although you have stood by me faithfully and lovingly all these past years with perfect faith and sincerity, in spite of your receiving nothing from me, and although you might be prepared to lay down your lives for me, yet there is the possibility that your and my habits of understanding and misunderstanding each other during the last so many years might mislead you into not taking this most seriously. Therefore, I want you all to go through this circular word by word most carefully before you decide. It would be best if you accompany me and abide by all orders and conditions 100% thoroughly. But although your faith, love, and service for me have been greater than mine would have been for my own mastery, yet these conditions might prove your
Jonathan just cut out for me, Marvin. Did he for
Me
you?
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost Jonathan. We
Okay.
lost you,
using your
Jonathan.
speaker. Rosie.
Okay,
There he is.
he's repeating.
So let's see. But although your faith, love, and service for me have been greater than mine, I think that was a little Satyanasha. Okay. But although your faith, love, and service for me have been greater than mine would have been for my own master, yet these conditions might prove your undoing. So unless you are ready to live the life of Satyanashi, complete ruination, and absolute obedience, it would be better to stay behind and obey instructions that will be given to you.
There's a footnote.
Oh, that's a better, the blocks are gone.
The block.
oh.
We can't scroll down. Can we scroll it down a little?
Oh, you can't see it?
Oh,
Oh,
we can see it. Okay, wait a minute. Where are we? Baba, the meeting began.
Oh, no,
Oh,
yeah, we finished that
we
page
finished
just
that,
to,
yeah.
just to read the
oh,
footnote.
oh, you're not seeing the footnote. I'll have to read it then.
Yeah,
Evidently,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
getting to you guys.
Yeah.
The Gujarati word Satyanashi, Baba later clarified, not only means that everything is renounced, but that everything is ruined, which may mean there is nothing to go back to.
Wow.
In Sanskrit, Satya means
wonderful.
the true, the real, the pure, the virtuous. Satya, in parentheses, Satya is also another name for Vishnu or Krishna. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's see.
Okay, so let's have another reader.
I have to go.
Yeah, Eugene is going to read. He has started already.
Okay.
Okay, but all this is by way of statement of facts and confessions. This decision is entirely to be made by you and you alone. May God give you the required strength. You and you alone are responsible before God. Don read out the conditions in English, which Baba would clarify intermittently. Part of the conditions that would be binding on all those who accompanied Baba were as follows. First and foremost, all those who accompany Baba must take it as an absolute and unqualified certainty that they will not receive even the slightest spiritual or material benefit, or indeed any benefit whatever. On the contrary, they must be prepared for every kind of disappointment and adversity. 2, if you are physically handicapped in any way, or if you have frail health, you should not accompany Baba unless you are resolved to die.
Mm.
Medical nursing and special care of any kind, mental or physical, should not be expected. On the contrary, Baba will expect you to take care of him. 3, you must be ready to join Baba on October 16, 1949. 4, Baba might go from place to place on foot or stay indefinitely at any place. Wherever he goes or wherever he stays, you must be with him. 5, there will be no physical amenities except the following, when or if they are available: food, clothing, a minimum provision of bedding, a minimum provision of toilet necessities, a plate, a mug, and a spoon. 6, in this new life, you should not expect Baba to humor you or make any concessions to your weaknesses. On the contrary, Baba will expect you to humor him. 7, you should not expect that Baba will have his nazar upon you, or that he will perform miracles, or use his spiritual key to protect or save you from illness, danger, imprisonment, death, or from difficulties and disasters of any kind. Indeed, Baba may become so utterly defenseless that he may be unable to help even himself. 8, you may believe Baba to be avatar, God, devil, or anything or anyone you please. But if you accompany him, you must understand that although he may live among you as if he were brother or friend, he will in fact be your master, whom you must obey absolutely. Standing orders for all who accompany Baba. If you accompany Baba, you will have to obey certain general standing orders at all times. But all this is by way of statement of facts and confessions. This decision is entirely to be made by you and you alone. Oops, the page didn't turn. There we go. So the conditions are, these are the conditions. 1, you will not touch women. You will not, 2, you will not touch money, and you will not accept money from anyone or give it to anyone, even to Baba. 3, you will not discuss politics. 4, you will not express anger by word or deed to anyone, whatever the provocation, and you will not criticize anyone unfairly, either to their face or behind their back. Although you may at times feel anger in your mind, you must never express it by word or deed. 5, without Baba's permission, you will not go anywhere for any purpose except for bathing, for drinking water, and for calls of nature. 6, without Baba's permission, you will not eat any food or drink anything except water at any place at all. If, however, you are offered food or clothing, you may accept them, but must give them to Baba at the earliest opportunity. 7, you will tell no lies. Everything will be frank, clear, and open. There will, for example, be no evasion of the truth if you are asked who you are or who Baba is. 8, neither Baba nor you will expect homage from anyone, nor will you deliberately create circumstances that might invite homage to Baba or to you. If, however, without your having invited it, homage is given to Baba or to you, it must be repaid, action for action, to the giver. Should Baba place his head on your feet or wash your feet, etc., this will be an order and should neither be repaid nor considered as homage. Extra orders. The above 8 orders are standing orders that will apply to all who accompany Baba. If unconsciously or without meaning to do so, you break any of these 8 standing orders or any other order of his, Baba will forgive you and he will not consider thoughts of lust, anger, greed, and so forth as mistakes. Over and above these 8 standing orders, Baba may give you any order at any time, which you must obey. Such orders, however, will not be of a quote unquote spiritual kind. For example, meditation or japa. And you must not expect to receive so-called spiritual instructions from him. You will have to obey any order Baba gives you, and you must understand that he might order you to do anything, good or bad. He might order you, for example, to do anything to his own person, such as to spit upon him, to kick him, abuse him, etc. And you will have to obey such orders without hesitation. Page 2762. Baba might also place his head on your feet or might wash your feet, and you must not object or hesitate or show any emotion should he do things of this kind. Should you show the slightest objection, hesitation, or emotion in any of these contingencies, he might send you away from him. Conclusion. It must be clearly understood that although every condition and standing order listed in this communication is absolutely binding on all who decide to accompany Baba, Baba himself is not only not bound by any order or condition, but is also absolutely free for all time to give any order to anyone, and that such orders might change or even nullify any or all of the standing orders and conditions. The one and only thing, however, in which Baba not only is not free, but deliberately binds himself, is regarding the first condition listed in this communication, to the effect that all who accompany Baba must take it as an absolute certainty that they will not receive the slightest benefit of any kind whatsoever, and that they must be prepared for every kind of disappointment and adversity. This condition will stand for all time and will never be changed or nullified by Baba. Whoops. It must, in addition, be absolutely clear that Baba will also never give any order that will absolve any of those who accompany him of their individual responsibility before God for any consequences that may follow. Thus, if you decide to accompany Baba, you must do it as an absolute certainty that the responsibility before God for each and every consequence rests for all time wholly and solely on you and you alone, and that Baba will never give an order that will change or nullify this responsibility. It is possible that you may interpret this absolute freedom of Baba's as an indirect indication that you may ask him at any time to change or nullify some condition or order. Let it therefore be clear that if, once you have given your decision to Baba, that you will accompany him, you take any unfair advantage of Baba's freedom and ask him to change or nullify any condition or order, this will be tantamount to changing your mind concerning your decision to accompany him. You should read this communication very carefully, applying it point by point to your own circumstances, and arrive at an honest, clear, and unequivocal decision, which should take the form of a plain yes or no, and nothing else. Marvin, can you
Okay,
read now? Thank you.
Yeah. uh-huh. Now, I just can't see the very top few lines and the very bottom few lines, so just
Okay.
scroll it down a little bit.
I
Okay,
can
good.
read now for also.
All right, after me. Baba then stated After taking an oath affirming your resolve before God, a copy of the conditions will be given to everyone. And after studying them carefully and giving full thought to them, you should write a simple yes or no by way of answer on the last page of the circular, sign it, and return the copy within 4 hours. Those not knowing English were provided with a Marathi version. What Baba stated was his, quote, last oath relating to the end of the old and beginning of a new order of life for himself and his circle, end quote, was then read out. This oath had been dictated in advance and was now read solemnly by dawn at a signal from Baba. Baba rose from his chair for the first time and remained standing, facing the wall, his back to the mandali, as dawn read. Before God the Absolute, whom those who have realized know as their own self, and whom believers believe to be all-pervading, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving, and all-merciful. Before this infinite existence, Baba, on behalf of himself and his followers, asked forgiveness for all mental, physical, and moral weaknesses called sins, and for all lies and false dealings, and for all impure and selfish actions. Before this infinite God, who ever was, ever is, and ever will be, Baba decides today on the new life that he and those who accompany him will enter from October 16th, 1949, and lead on till the end. This new life will be based absolutely on all that has been dictated by Baba in the circular of conditions, and Baba invokes God to make him stand by it firmly, scroll, and steadfastly as his companions in his new life are required to do. Baba then warned, my decision and the decision you all will take today will be irrevocable and binding for all times. Those who do not take it 100% seriously will have to bear the consequences. Those to whom the conditions had not been given were afterwards made to take individual oaths to carry out the arrangements decided upon. These included Sidhu, Janguli, and Jamadar. The musts, Ali Shah and Mohammed, were put in Sidhu's care. As mentioned, Janguli was to attend to the necessities and requirements of the women staying on the hill, and Jamadar was to be the night watchman on the hill. And scroll a bit. Baba then permitted the gathering to break for lunch and remarked that he would not eat until he had his hands on he had in his hands the replies from the recipients about the conditions. Within 2 hours, all the replies were in Baba's hands. They contained a few surprises. Jal Karawala, whom Baba wanted as an arrangement wala, noted yes on his copy of the conditions. Baba had this mistake rectified before going to eat. And scroll a little. Jal accepted Baba's wish, and after offering a special prayer, he was free to continue serving in his present job. Baba also appeared surprised at Padre's decision of no. The Mandali were too surprised. Mandali too were surprised. Some speculated that Padre had come to some sort of limit of his endurance, and he realized that joining the new life was going to be a very taxing thing. As MEHER Sawala explained, Padre had passed through many such new lives with Baba in his old days, and he knew the rigors of what was coming. So probably he must have felt that he wouldn't be able to please Baba as he would want to. So better to say no and to be a burden to him. In any case, Padre saying no was a great surprise to everybody, including Baba himself. Although, of course, Baba, being all-knowing, knew what was to come. But on our level, he was both surprised and a bit disappointed. Baba remarked, "I wished Padre to accompany me, and his negative reply has pained me. But at the same time, I am glad, as Padre is one of the 4 pillars of Meherabad, and seeing that the other 3 pillars, Hindu, Vishnu, and Adi Senior, are coming with me, in case of their falling, meaning dying, at least one will be left standing." Padre himself, years later, stated that he was doing what Baba wanted him to do. Baba had instructed him to stay behind to look after the Meherabad property. It was a prearranged drama staged by the master himself, Padre revealed. Baba called me beforehand and told me privately what I was to say and do. When the time came, I performed as he asked and merely acted out my part. That is all there was to it. Referring to Gadakar and Deshmukh and others in that category who had written no, Baba remarked, "May God always keep Gadakar in my heart." About Deshmukh, he commented, "Deshmukh will always be near and dear to me." Bounda too, the school teacher from Kurdawadi, was one who wrote yes. Bal had decided to give up his job to accompany Baba, but he had suffered from tuberculosis and, from a health standpoint, was not physically fit for such a life of hardships and privations. He was therefore freed from his decision. Pandoba Deshmukh, one of the early teachers at Meherabad, also wrote yes, but he had a large family and could make no provision for their maintenance while he was away. Pandoba's name, too, was deleted. Shagan also wrote yes, but his wife started weeping when she found out. When he informed Baba, he was also freed. However, Baba, ordered Shagan to eat food obtained by begging. Later, Baba amended the order, telling Shagan to move back to Meherabad. Scroll, please. He would be given a small stipend, which he was to supplement from outside employment. Kishan Singh had come to Meherabad on 15 August, the first day of the meetings. Baba met with him the next day, and to Kishan's surprise, after just 5 minutes with him, Baba sent him back to Delhi. Kishan was called to attend the meeting of the 31st. He also wrote yes, but when he returned home, he found so many difficulties confronting him that he could not go. He had to appear in court as a witness, and he informed Baba. Baba sent him this telegram. "In view of your letter, I forgive you and free you from your yes promise and want you definitely to stay at home. Rest assured, your spiritual connection with me will remain as before." When all the replies were, I can't quite see the top line, were scrutinized, the assembly was divided into 3 groups. Yes Wallahs, those who wrote yes and were to accompany Baba on his new life. No Wallahs, who wrote no and were not to accompany Baba, but were to remain in his old life. Baba's general instruction was they should continue living their lives as they had. Footnote.
Manek Mehta was a no-walla, but he was to join Baba on 1 January 1950 in Benares, after he had wound up his affairs with the Meher Jop Mandal, the group in Bombay. Later, the date was postponed until May 1950.
Arrangement wallahs. They were 5 men appointed by Baba to see primarily to the practical arrangements which had been made for those financially dependent upon Baba. However, later Baba kept issuing instructions for other work, which they carried out faithfully also. The committee consisted of Sarosh, Naraman, Meherji, Ramju, and Jal Kerawala, with Savak Damania serving as an assistant. The Yeswalas were informed that they should be present at Meherabad between 1 to 5 October, fully prepared to completely turn their backs on their previous lives, families, and affairs. A few individuals received specific instructions from Baba. One of them was Baba's former night watchman, Krishna Nair. Krishna had been living in South India since November 1947. He came to Meherabad desiring to stay with Baba again. And why don't we have another reader now? Ralph, you could pick up.
Krishna asked Baba why he was not included among those men going on the new life with him. Baba explained to him, "You are not to be concerned about the new life." Instead, Baba gave him a special order. Krishna was instructed to make a pilgrimage all over India, stopping at famous temples, shrines, and sacred places of all religions, Hindu, Muslim, Zoroastrian, and Christian, throughout the country. He was told to bow down at those places and utter the words, Meher Baba. Baba called Vishnu and directed him to give Krishna, scroll please, give Krishna 2,000 rupees for his expenses. Krishna began his pilgrimage at Benares. It took nearly 7.5 months to complete the pilgrimage. Meanwhile, before leaving Meherabad, Krishna received a letter informing him that his wife had given birth to a son. Krishna was reading the letter when Baba came by. Baba asked what news he had received. Krishna told Baba, and Baba ordered him not to tell anyone about the letter. Previously, in 1946, Baba had ordered Krishna not to tell any of the Mandali about his marriage. Later, when everyone had gathered in the hall, Krishna was called. In front of everyone, Baba asked him, "How is your wife and son?" Since Baba had instructed Krishna to keep his marriage and now the birth of his son a secret, the men were wondering why he had married and had a son. Dr. Ghani asked, "What miracle are you performing here, Baba? Without a wife, Krishna gets a son." Baba then asked Vishnu to bring the note Krishna had written in his blood in 1942, pledging, "I will not marry." It took Vishnu 3/4 of an hour to locate the paper. Baba held it up and stated, "This bloody bastard challenged me that he would not marry. Now you are married and have a son also." Nilu interjected, "Baba, Krishna married behind our backs without giving us a proper celebration. We demand a party. Baba replied teasingly, "Don't look at me. I am not the one who got married. It is for Krishna to give you a party." However, since Krishna had no money, Baba bought Basundi, a condensed milk dessert for everyone to honor the occasion. Until the end of August, Baba had indicated that he himself did not know where they would be going. But on Thursday, 1st September 1949, Baba began unfolding details of his plans. I'm lost.
Top of the page.
Top of the page.
Yep.
The first thing he mentioned was that he had begun acquiring land in northern India. Who is this? Baba?
Yeah.
The first thing he mentioned was that he had begun acquiring land in northern India near Rishikesh. He had given this work to Keki Desai of Delhi, who had been in Baba's contact for 7 years. Keki was called to Marazad on the 9th to discuss the matter. Footnote.
Keki Desai was the one who had won the blue bus in the lottery and had given it back to Baba. He spent the night at Meherabad and left for Delhi on the 10th.
Kakabad, who was too old not to discuss them. We're a little bit blocked off on the I've got all kinds of.
We all do, Ralph. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Here we go.
Kakabad was too old and weak to accompany Baba. Would be sent would be sent to stay with Keki from October until the land was purchased. He was then to stay on it and await Baba's arrival. Baba stated that the place in North India would be the center of his future life of helplessness. Ramju and Dake were asked to devise a plan whereby the land near Rishikesh, when purchased in the name of any one or two of the Yeswalas, would be taken over under a legal deed in such a way that in the end the land would neither belong nor revert to Baba or any of his people. The new center of the new life was to be reached on foot not later than November 1950. Before starting out for the north, however, Baba stated, "I will first march to Aurangabad on 16th October with all the Yeswalas and spend the first period of 2.5 months in Kuldabad and Python. Kuldabad is where Sai Baba began his spiritual life. But thereafter, Baba changed this idea about going to Kuldabad and decided instead to proceed on foot from Ahmednagar to Godunati, and from there to go by bus to Belgaum and stay on Vishnu's relatives' land. Regarding the property at Belgaum, Baba observed, the place already has a small house in which the ladies will be able to remain, and the rest of the space is more than enough for the men to live under the sky. There is also a good well containing nice drinking water. Belgaum will also provide me with the opportunity of getting those accompanying me used to the future life of service, begging, helplessness, and so forth, involved under the conditions. We're just going to live under the sky. I didn't even follow my own reading from it. The place already is a small house. The rest of the space is more than enough for the men to live under the sky. Baba instructed Padre to construct a four-wheeled caravan-like vehicle drawn by oxen and have it delivered to Belgaum by the 15th of December. The caravan would be provided the caravan would provide the four women with minimal shelter for the foot journey to the north. After the final meeting, Baba continued to warn the men to be alert, urging them to follow all the conditions. We need to go up a bit, Gene.
Okay, maybe this
Age.
part to stop. I mean, we're at the end of the hour.
Okay.
2768, we could start right up there. Let me end the recording.